Hi, it's Foodie Time with Gary, and today we are going to talk real snacks, or snack estates, or maybe we'll just have a topic of the day. But before we do that, we're going to dig into this Hoff's Hut. If you haven't been to Hoff's Hut in Torrance, it is a must-have. They have really delicious breakfast, but their bakery is so good. I have a lemon meringue pie, just a little mini one for me. Today's topic: renting versus owning. Why would you choose to rent if you could comfortably own? Let me know in the comments why you choose to rent versus own. Is it because you think you can't afford to own? You're unsure of the process? What are your reasons why you continue to rent instead of own? Maybe you have a really good reason you just don't want to own. Tell me that reason too. Now let's talk about some processes if you do want to go from renting to owning. First part of it is, if you decide that you want to own, how far in advance do you need to let them know? You usually have to give a non-renewal notice in order to move out, some type of period before the termination of your lease, whether it's 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, sometime between 1 to 3 months. Most people on leases don't know that they have to give that notice or when they have to give that notice in order to be able to move out and buy property. You need to be able to plan for it. If you're in a lease or you have to give notice for your rental, you want to plan at least 6 months ahead before you decide to buy, because you still have to look at homes, you still have to pack to move out, you still have to go through the entire process. So you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to move out and give notification. A couple of things to know. Do you know what the home buying process is? If you'd like to learn, I can help you with that. The other thing is if I found the perfect home for you and the seller of that home would buy out your lease, would that help you to purchase sooner? We can also talk about financing. So, do you know what your cash reserves are? Do you know what's liquid and liquidable-ish? You'll want to be able to know that so that you can understand your monthly surplus, your savings rate, and you want to be able to compare that to property appreciation, down payments, costs, and closing costs. This is going to give you an idea on if you want to save more, buy later, or buy now, or if you want to buy bigger. You want to be able to understand your monthly budget. What's comfortable, what's expected, and what's stretching it. What can you really afford? You can do that together with a lender to find out what your purchasing power is. Think about what you're paying now for a monthly payment. Are you paying $5,000 or more just to rent or lease? You can probably pay a mortgage. So now that you've gotten with a lender and you know your buying power, then you can do a great property search. You can know what you want and what you need, what you're willing to sacrifice to stay within your budget, know the areas and the amenities, the schools that are important to you so that you can start looking in the right areas ahead of time before you give your notice on your lease. This is somewhat of a long game. If you want to buy, you can't decide in 90 days before you close out your lease. You have to pre-plan. You have to give your time or you're going to be stressed out. You can't throw in the towel because you have bad expectations, because nobody ever explained it to you. You can get with your agent or me. We can go through a timeline. We can go through the expectations in the process. This way you're not a renter forever. Nobody wants that. Something you can start thinking about now. If I had someone run your financials, what would they find on your credit report? Would they find loans? Would they find car payments? Would they find credit card debt? Would they find child support payments? These are all things that can impact your credit. These are also things that you can start working on now to increase your credit score. That way, when it's time to unload that lease and start buying, you're in a good position. Today, I've given you a nice chunk of information on renting versus buying. I can give you so much more information if you're interested and you are ready to make that journey. DM me buyer so we can set up a meeting as early as tomorrow to get you ready and on that road. You can also call me, text me, or send me an email. My information is right here. Let me know when you're done being a renter and ready to be an owner. Where I'm going next, I don't know, but I'll be back.